Right.
He'll definitely be in my top 10.
Yeah.
If you in Philly, you are already in my top 10. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm gonna let y'all finish, but Philadelphia is the greatest of all time.
Make sure you guys support We Talk Weekly News, our independent journalism, with by you subscribing on all major podcast platforms and follow us on social media so you can stay informed and connected. And that's all it takes is a like, a follow, a share,
That's it.
a comment. All of that helps.
That's
And
it.
if you want to help us expand our community centered solutions based reporting, you can make a donation via Cash App to $ We Talk Weekly or securely through PayPal at wetalkweekly.com. And every contribution, no matter how small, makes an impact.
That's right. That's right.
All right, so I feel like we talked about this before, but this is always like an ongoing conversation. This Rocky statue, so they moved it this to the top of the steps of the art museum. So that just made me think. I posted something on my Facebook page like a couple weeks ago. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of Philly athlete goats? And don't say Rocky Balboa.
Joe Frazier
Oh, yeah.
from the door. Joe Frazier.
With,
T-
Sweet Pea.
Sweet Pea. Yeah, Sweet Pea. I guess you talking about boxers.
Athletes. Dawn Staley.
Dawn Staley is definitely on my Mount Rushmore.
Dr. J.
Julius Erving.
Yeah. They don't have to have lived here. They could have played here.
And it's athletes, you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Allen Iverson.
AI. That's all of them. That's all of them.
Because you get 4 or 5.
AI. It's 5. It's 4.
Okay.
It's 4. Mount Rushmore is 4, right?
I believe so.
I can't remember. I think it's 4.
Oh God.
It's so many greats. It's a lot of good ones, though.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because I think, it really is a top 10 because you can't limit it to just 4.
Yeah. AI, definitely AI, Dawn Staley, Joe Frazier. Yeah. Dang. Because it's a couple more.
You gotta say Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, Wilt
sure.
Chamberlain.
You definitely gotta say that.
Damn. Yeah, that's jeez.
It's just so many.
Damn.
So many. And then you're talking about errors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you got some honorable mentions. Like, I know they kind of say like, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I mean he didn't necessarily claim Philly though.
Right, and that's inside of Philly. We wouldn't really give it to him, but outside of Philly, they always do. And somebody else they do that with too is he lived outside of Philly. He was like he was either in Cheltenham Township or something like that. Who was that? Might be a baseball player.
I'm not sure. Damn, that's crazy. Athletes. Reggie White. Okay. Yeah. I don't think he'll be on my Mount Rushmore though, but
no, I'm saying top 10.
Oh, top 10. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Mike Schmidt. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy.
Moses Malone. Was he Philly?
I don't know. Was Moses Philly? I can't remember. Nah, Moses Malone wasn't Philly.
I can't remember where
he just played in Philly.
Charles Barkley.
They said
he
Barkley.
Played on yeah.
Barkley. Yeah, top 10.
You didn't like Barkley?
No, we talked about top 10.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking honorable mentions. Don't know if even on the 10.
Yeah, now you got me thinking of
that wasn't it wasn't Reggie Jackson.
Definitely Frazier. Definitely Joe Frazier. Bernard Hopkins.
It was Reggie Jackson.
Gotta put Reggie Jackson, Bernard Hopkins, the executioner.
No, was it Reggie Jackson?
Who else?
I'm trying to think who it was that they live. Yeah, Reggie Jackson because he's in Abington.
Yeah, it's Reggie Jackson.
He's in Abington.
But,
damn.
But
they give him Philly. Yeah,
that's kind of Philly.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah. Shout out to Bernard Hopkins too.
For sure.
Randall Cunningham.
Yeah.
as when he played for the Eagles.
Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah.
He'll be in my top 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Sheed. Shout out to Rasheed, friend to the show too.
Right.
He'll definitely be in my top 10.
Yeah.
If you in Philly, you are already in my top 10. I mean, I'm gonna let y'all finish, but Philadelphia is the greatest of all time. I'm just saying. I'm gonna let y'all finish, man. I'm trying to think of if y'all watching, make sure y'all list y'all who will be on y'all Mount Rushmore in Philadelphia. Y'all Mount Rushmore. And if it's people that we because it's somebody on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I feel like it is somebody that's being left out.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's what's up. Yeah, no doubt.
All right. The Los Angeles and why do I have it written like that? Sorry. Los Angeles County Superior Court jury. I have it written. Sorry. They found Meta and YouTube negligent in how they operate their social media platforms, which has been causing substantial harm to lot of people, but in this case particularly the plaintiff, who is identified in the court by initials KGM. And they're saying that Meta and YouTube failed to adequately warn users of the dangers of its platforms, such as Instagram and Google and YouTube, and Google is the owner of YouTube. So now plaintiff KGM, who is now 20 years old, she was awarded $3 million in compensatory damages. But when she was a minor, she described how when all this happened, and she talked about her addiction to social media at, I believe, the age 6, and how she spent hours upon hours on the platform, and how this caused significant emotional and physical abuse to herself. And a New Mexico jury also found that Meta and YouTube violated the state's consumer protection laws, and they were ordered to pay $375 million in civil penalties. So Mark Zuckerberg, he was among a lot of the tech executives who testified. Multiple cases were brought against Meta, YouTube, and other companies, which I believe Snapchat was also in this. This included over 1,600 plaintiffs, 350 families, and over 250 school districts. So the counsel for the plaintiff, KGM, said the counsel and the co-counsel in a statement, they said that this is a historic moment for thousands of children and their families. But the verdict itself is bigger than just this one case. And they're saying for years, social media companies have profited from targeting children while concealing their addictive and dangerous design features. Today's verdict is a referendum from a jury to an entire industry that accountability has arrived. And, Meta and Google, they disagree with the verdict, of course, and they plan to appeal. But, this made me think about the guidelines that they set for us creators. We had to disclose when we're going to post something, and you think about all the prompts that it's giving you. Is this going to be harmful to children? Is this going to do this? Does it depict this? Does it have AI in it? Is it showing fake things? And meanwhile, they don't
have to do nothing.
You created the whole platform to deceive and, harm children. And that was your initial agenda, was to get these teens addicted to the platform, and which is causing detrimental long-term and even permanent damage and harm. Some I saw a video of some families that were not even able to make it inside the courtroom, but they were outside and they were holding up pictures, and this was so devastating, and it really just showed you the magnitude of the damage. They were holding up pictures of children that were not there because they committed suicide, and that was from the damage of these platforms. Wow. So it just has me thinking, what is this going to? How is this going to change social media going forward? What does social media look like when, people are getting on there?
Right.
Yeah. So, counselor, I would love to hear your feedback on you or your thoughts on the legal perspective of like this case from what you heard. I know you didn't do too much research, but just based off of what you heard, what's your thoughts?
My first thing I was like, I gotta read into this. First of all, I didn't know this was happening. And I thought this story was going to be more about the along the lines of those shows that they have on there on YouTube, where they're coaching kids to have like for suicidal practices and things like that. And so, is the context of this case on that?
You mean like the what was presented and all that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder what kind of parameters after a case like this, then the company's got to go back and do cleanup, right? So do they now put parameters where you have to putting into your birthday and give your age? Will they be timed? Like you can only do this for 6 hours a day. And then, once they do that blanket thing, obviously it affects all of us. But what else can they do to rectify? Because I know they don't want to make these kind of payouts ever again. But they need to be strategizing about what they do from here and now and what's going to work for the greater good. But then they also got to balance how they're going to generate their funds. Exactly. But they're creatives. They will figure it out. All will be well.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because I think what we're talking about now is $1 trillion companies.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to, hey, take this 375 and get out of here, it's not really much hurt. Yeah, exactly. And then it's just kind of like, hey, we got to figure out how do we make our money back, and then where do we go from here? Yeah. But then at the same time, it's like it just has me thinking, because before it was just like pretty much like, okay, the burden is on the parent to monitor the child, and like you said, like put you only be on here for 2 hours, you be on there for 3 hours or whatever. But then no, it really should be the burden is on the companies to not make it addictive. To it's just crazy. And I think even like I saw somebody else kind of like talking about their experience in life, and this is what I didn't think of. It's like, as a Gen Z person who grew up their whole life with social media and Facebook being around for how long, and that is their life, and that is how they grew up in the self, I guess, their perspective or of themselves and what they feel like reality should be, versus us, like we didn't have that much social media.
I was just looking at a chart yesterday about from the boomers all the way down to the Gen Zs, and what stood out for Gen Z was this is the first generation to ever be taught and have their lives led by a screen. And so I'm thinking the companies who were sued, they recognize that this is their audience, and they're building things now for who is going to be the soon future, the children of the people of the future. And so they I believe they purposely geared this to this. These are going to be our new 20-year-olds. These are our new 30-year-olds. So just like they had the get us hooked on nicotine for the 2 generations before us, now they got to get them hooked on this so that this is their money makers from here on out, and it'll keep with generations and generations. I believe it was tactful. I will always say that education starts at home. I'm always going to put some emphasis on the home structure. Yes. Forget about what the law says, because you're supposed to be their first teacher. You're the one who gives them access to the TV or to the device, and you don't even have to take that step unnecessarily.
Yeah, and because of things like that, this generation being brought up by a screen, you now have first ladies walking out of the White House with a robot, and here this should be given to kids to teach them to become teachers, and instead of and replace like regular class education in a physical human teacher who can spot like, oh, this child has experienced abuse, and this child is malnourished, this child has not eaten, and this child is sick. Like what in the world is going on? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. I do want to push back just a little bit, because push
back on what?
Well, not necessarily push back, but I do want to add another perspective, because I am kind of like, as Tanisha was saying, like the idea of the parents. Like, some of the parents got to take responsibility. Be like, man, if you don't get your behind off that that phone and go to bed and monitor that, I'm big with, I mean, I get all this soft parenting, but I'm big with, oh, okay, now you got to turn in your phone. You can't use your phone. Oh, okay. The door, now I'm taking the doors off the hinges. Oh, okay. Like I believe, like, and maybe that's our generation that came from that, but I'm really big on, you know, the what accountability do we have as parents? That's the first thing. And two, to place all the emphasis on, I guess, the creator of the social media stuff. I mean, I get it though. I get it though. Like I get it. I get it.
I hear what you're saying, and I agree with that too. Because I thought about that too, and I'm like, dag, it should be the parent. But I think what messed them up in this case is that they found a lot of the studies that they did, because initially Mark Zuckerberg testified to Congress is that no, our platforms are not for teenagers. But then they were able to pull up some receipts that said you specifically had people, had scientists studying preteen behaviors and their prefrontal cortex and how they could get addicted to platforms. Why would you be doing those studies if you're
focusing on teens?
Exactly. So it's just kind of like,
see, I didn't hold on. I want to take back what I just said. I mean, I do feel like we need to police, so to speak, and you can say that's heavy or whatever language I do feel like we need to be policing our children, because you know, we are our first children. We are our first children heroes, right? And to just throw them into, I seen like little kids like throw tantrums when a phone is taken away from them, and it just blows my mind. Like, are you serious? And we letting phones raise the kids, like, to keep them quiet. Here, take the phone.
A young man, I covered the story. He killed his mom.
Crazy.
When she took his, I guess, Xbox or phone, some type of contraption.
Ain't no way. Ain't no. You know what? In Mark Zuckerberg,
the story is baloney. You people must be idiots. What are you doing? Are you people out of your mind? Are you?
It ain't. No.
I love her though. What are you?
He deserves all of that.
Doing?
Mark Zuckerberg deserves all of that. All of that. He can get it. He can get it. Go ahead. But no, 100%.
Yeah, and you know, we can kind of continue that conversation another time, because it's so many different layers about that, and it's just a shame, because you know, I mean, I think if parents did know that all of that was involved, and they, like, many of them wouldn't even. Why do you think it's banned in other countries? I'm just gonna say that.
But that's the thing too. Like, I know you want to move on real quick, but the places like, I believe in, I want to say China. Yeah, they don't even. First of all, I think they shut down at a certain time where they can't even access it. But they don't let certain material on it, certain content. They don't even allow kids to view it. But we let them do everything. Like that, even the food. I don't want to get into the food, but it's certain places where you can't even get Kool-Aid. And that's what we do, right?
Exactly.
So we can monitor certain things, and so we got to start to think of, is it a US
should it
thing?
be? Yes,
that's absolutely.
Should it be the government?
The government. Yeah.
All right. So, final story. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho.
Yeah, that's my guy right there.
Yes. So Jay-Z, he sat down with GQ for a full interview. And what I loved initially about this is that he gave this young reporter a chance to interview him. Shout out to our young reporters from Youth Civic News that we took the time, 15 weeks, to train them in literacy, youth, media and independent media and all that good stuff. But Jay-Z started off, he talks about his year in 2025, including being accused of assaulting a 13-year-old girl. That lawsuit was dismissed, but Jay-Z was talking about how extremely angry he was, and how could you just bring those types of allegations against somebody? And he also he talks about his amazement with Blue Ivy's performance on their tour, and her growth and her talent. He also was asked about his thoughts on the Kendrick Lamar versus Drake rap battle. And his response was pretty surprising. Basically, he was comparing the battle rap years ago to today's type of battle raps. And he said, we love the excitement and I love the sparring, but in this day and age, there's so much negative stuff that comes with it, and you almost wish it didn't happen. It's too far. It's bringing people's kids in it. I don't like that. It could stand before because there was no social media. You had the battle and it was fun and then you moved on. Right now, I don't know if it could stand. It's like trying to tear people's lives, trying to tear down people's lives. I don't know if it's worth it at this point. I love the idea that we got so much music, and he's talking about Kendrick Lamar's album and how so much music came out of it, and Drake and all that. But he's like, I like the idea that we got so much music in such a short period of time. Just everything was like, man, this is taking us a couple steps back. All of the stuff that came from it. But he's just like, we just grown so much that I don't know if battling needs to be a part of the culture anymore. And I think people are shocked to hear that coming from Jay-Z.
I'm a little shocked to hear. I think I heard some whispering of him taking a position like that, especially when Jay had a background in battling, it wasn't like, I get the whole kids thing because we came up, right? Our generation was like, no women, no kids. They was off we can go at it all day long.
He said, yeah.
It was no women, no kids. And that was like kind of our generation thing. I feel, right? I feel if we are talking battle, so I'm just trying to, I'm wondering if he's considering just the battle rap culture as Drake and Kendrick Lamar versus like Smack and that type of battle situation, because they get personal, but it's an understanding of witty wordplay schemes and all of that. That's a different kind of battle culture versus a Kendrick Lamar and
or
Drake.
Pac and Biggie.
Yeah, Pac and Biggie, Jay-Z and Nas. And
it was LL and who did he go? He went,
so I probably, as a reporter, if I was interviewing, probably would have went there, like when you're talking about cultural, specifically because there is a battle rap culture that kind of spurns from hip hop.
Yeah.
And if you listen to what they're saying, they know that it's
when you got Nick Cannon and like
that trash.
The show. The show. That's the show.
Yeah, but I would just think that deserves some amplification in the amount of work that it takes to prepare for a 3-round, 3, 4, 5, 6 minute rap battle when you talk about each round like 6 minutes.
Because
that takes a lot.
Battle rap, when we were growing up, because we are the generation of having it, that's what it was. Just like when we would cheer, you would go against somebody and cheering. It was the same way when we would rap. You would you had to have somebody in front of you, and then you busting on them in your rap when you freestyling. So it was a part of the culture. So I see what you're saying about what level is he referring to?
Exactly. What level? When you talk about culture, so I would have wanted the reporter to dig a little bit. Like, when we talk about culture specifically, because that's what he got his pretty much why we supported Jay, because it was like he came from the gutter, he was willing to battle, whatever. He was great at what he does. In fact, he gets a lot of credit for, the way that he puts together his rhymes by not even writing. Right. And so when you talk about somebody that's as talented as that, who got their start literally battling, how can you say, I don't know, I'm a Jay fan. I just need to see the interview. I didn't see the interview.
Right. And I can understand like a lot of what he's saying. Like, you didn't have social media then to where like if you were saying to somebody to their face, like, yeah, your baby mom this, you like if you take the stuff that Kendrick Lamar said to Drake they said to one another, and they said that to their faces. You know what I mean? Like, if there was no social media, it wouldn't have gone viral. You wouldn't have people that are just like, I hate Drake now, and you know, because
I don't know.
Yeah, because we didn't have social media.
Hey, Sizzle, I'm gonna let you finish, but
it wouldn't have been.
now
but when we think of that Nas and Jay beef, we ain't have social media back then. But everyone was told, "Yo, did you hear that?" I mean, it was that was kind of like a viral moment.
But at the same time, you have stans who go on social media and they start doing stuff, and like when it comes to that, I think he's talking about on that level.
Well, even isn't Jay or 50 and T.I. going through a beef right now? But now
who would have been able to do that though?
Right.
And then like you have, I know when they said bringing people's kids and stuff into it and all that, like,
and the wife.
A lot of the like, when you do the battle rapping, like, versus then, like, you said what you said in person and all that, and you might have heard some rumors after it. They then take their beef to social media, so it goes to another level afterwards. It doesn't just end there. It's like you know, it starts like a back and forth, and then sometimes, depending on who the beef is, it can turn deadly.
It can. That's real. That's real. I mean, but you know, I get you. I think I guess I was separated by way of like commercial stuff versus true battle rap culture, right? Because you have people that's still in kind of like the battle rap culture. Like when I think of like when you had the Joe Buddens and all of those that had the leagues, the battle rap leagues, and then you have people like Smack, and you have you know, Cassidy and Reed Dollars and all these people. Like, that's literally, like, when you talk about battle rap culture, you have to think of Philly when we talk about this stuff, right? And the Bone Collector, all the people from Philly that really represent in terms of battle rap, and then because that's the era that I came out in. You know, you had, you know, from State Property to, you know, like the Year That's Us with, you know, I mean, you had so many different people, especially in Philadelphia, that it was about battle culture.
Even now, battle rap in Philly is totally different.
It's different, but I mean,
I'm even thinking back where wasn't Roxanne Shantae with the other Shantae saying who the real Shantae? Y'all
hold on, I'm gonna let you finish real quick.
Hey, this is Roxanne Shantae. Your week cannot be complete unless you listen to or watch We Talk Weekly. Please believe me, baby.
Do that. You brought her up. That's my girl. Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, but Jay-Z, you know, definitely check out the full interview. He defended his selections of Super Bowl headliners, saying that for a lot of years it was only one side of music being represented, and you got whatever you got.
Yeah, that's
but
real.
He's saying now that it's pretty much more balanced. And then, you know, he's just saying, like, basically on his pick of Kendrick Lamar, he said, I chose this guy who was having a monster year. You know, I think it was the right choice. What do I care about these two guys? And this little part is kind of like a lot of people, I'm not going to say a lot, but some people didn't really care for this part, but he just was like, basically, like, I chose him, and, like, you know, what do I care about these two guys battling, talking about Drake and Kendrick, and then he's just like, what's that got to do with me? Y'all basically saying, like, have at it. They drag everybody into it, like everybody's part of this conspiracy to undermine Drake, I guess. But it's like, I'm effing Jay-Z. So then he's laughing, and then it's like, all due respect to him, but I'm effing Hove. Respectfully, it doesn't make any sense.
I get what he's saying.
I'm
get
sure
what he's
people
saying.
Taking it
exactly. But do his voice. How does he talk?
I'm sure they're taking it out of context.
Yeah. You should imitate his voice when he just said that though, because he talks slow. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm Jay-Z."
Yeah,
like, it wasn't aggressive.
And then he got that New York accent.
Right. I can hear him saying that.
No doubt. I'm Hove. Like, why? I got you. They probably hating on what he said. I'm sure Kendrick get it, but why should I? I get it. He's trying to say, like, all this drama that's out there that's coming from him, and you bringing everybody else. Why you bring, like, I don't have nothing to do with it. I'm Jay.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
that's their beef, not mine.
Right.
Like, why are you trying to bring, which one you like better? You know, that type of thing. No, I get it. Yeah, you know,
so he basically was saying that, but then you had some people who are just like, oh, well, why is he saying it like that? I'm like, oh, he's cocky and
That's why I said if you can imitate his voice, because if you knowing his personality, it don't come across like that. I haven't seen the interview yet, but that's how I'm taking it.
Yeah, but he talked about Beyonce and his children, and he talked about, you know, the albums and all that, and, you know, Reasonable Doubt and 444, and, you know, his relationship with J. Cole, billionaire status, inclusion of Black people, and more. So just, you know, go ahead and check that out. And Jay-Z's, he's going to be headlining the Roots Picnic here in Philly, the city of brotherly love, on May 30th at the Belmont Plateau in Fairmount Park. And this is going to be a 2-day festival on May 30th and the 31st. This is the first time it's being held at the Belmont Plateau. And the Roots manager and president of Live Nation Urban, Sean G., he said, after meeting with Mayor Sherelle Parker and hearing her vision for Philadelphia 250, she truly inspired us to dream even bigger, and we're grateful to her and everyone who helped make it happen. So he's going to be, Erykah Badu is co-headlining with him, with Jay-Z as well. So.
That's a major shout out for Sherelle.
No. We're not doing. No, excuse me. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the Roots. And let me call out the Roots real quick, because We Talk Weekly has reached out 3 years now for press, and you didn't hit his back. So I could care less about until y'all get back to us. Nah, like real talk. But shout out to Jay and
and
I like this.
And Jay-Z, he also is doing concerts in New York, which it's sold out. Like they had
already like two minutes.
Because they had like they were doing like a hold, because you know they're trying to keep like scalpers from like stealing all the tickets. So once the tickets went live, I think it was like either 600,000 people on hold to try to get tickets, but then it went to 1.5 or 6 million or whatever. So good luck.
I seen Hove. I went to a concert by myself here in Philly, and it was phenomenal. I mean, he literally had on a t-shirt, jeans. I forget what kind of sneakers he had on. No background people and nothing. And it was amazing.
All I got to say is one word: powerhouse. If you know, you know.
It was good.
He said, you got to pardon Jay for selling out the Garden in the day. He going to do it again. He did it again.
Yeah.
Like more. It was more.
And
like,
that's the crazy part. He's not even this generation.
Yeah.
You know, not even the last generation.
No, it don't matter.
It's
all of us going. Most of us is going.
No, us and our children with us. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like, they really, you know, they do give him his flowers.
Yeah, because if you think about like rappers that have left you profound, like, you know, their lyrics are just profound, and you have to literally sit there and think about what they said, because it's just like it's just multi-dimensional mentally. Yeah. It's just like he's one of them.
One of my favorite lines.
You got to be like, he just said.
One of my favorite lines from him was, I'm so far ahead of my time.
I knew you was going to say that.
I'm about to start another life. Look behind me. I'm about to pass you twice. Back to the future, gotta slow for the present fast. You just can't get past my past. So how you propose to deal with my perfect present when I unwrap the gift and the curse in one session? He said, ain't no contestant. Only two resting in heaven could be mentioned in the same breath as them. 7 straight summers critics might not admit it, but nobody in rap did it quite like I did it. If you did it, I done it before. You bid it, I had it, got mad at it, and don't want it no more. And it goes from everything from flipping it raw, flip the horse, flip the vocal cords, don't get it twisted, get it right, did it different, did it better, did it nice, did the impossible, and then I did it twice. Get it right. That's one of my favorite, like, when you talk about whole, like, we grew up with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to say, like, you know, and so that's why you would have, that was, you know, Hove was the, how can I put it? He was the hustler. He had the hustler anthems. And during that time, that's all we was doing in the hood. We was hustling. Like, hustling. I'm a hustler, homie. Shout out to Cassidy. But you talking about that's why, and he put on people from Philly.
Yes, he did.
State property.
Speaking of Cassidy,
Yeah,
you gotta see his story on when he went to that. I'm gonna be quiet.
What do we see?
I'm gonna leave that alone. Well, he freestyled. You gotta look at the story up.
Mhm.
That's good.
No doubt.
But it was dope story.
For sure. All right, was that it?
That was a sizzle.
Damn, that was a good. All right, that was
That
it.
was a good one.
Yeah, they need a round of applause for that. All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. This is We Talk Weekly, y'all. Make sure y'all tune in. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. That's all we ask. It only take a minute to like, subscribe, and share a video. You know, I think this was a dynamic show that people would get a lot.
Monica said Aaron McKee.
Oh yeah.
Malik Rose.
Oh yeah, Aaron McKee. Yeah, shout out to Aaron McKee. Shout out to Temple T. You in the building. Listen, it was a quick story about Aaron McKee. He when they had, I think they made it to the Final Four. I can't remember. It was a big party that he actually threw. And it was like sold out. Nobody could get in it. But me and PR, we was at the door and we went to the thing and he happened to see us. And we were standing there like, he was like, yo, what's up, Jay? What's up? I was like, yo, nothing, congratulations. We could. He was like, no, come on, y'all could get in. And he walked us in. I was like, that's my guy. That's my guy. So if y'all know, y'all from Temple T, you all I'll stand up. And so if y'all know how big he was in the city and how he represented Philly. He represented Philly well, man. So shout out to Aaron McKee. All right, so I'm your boy Charles Gregg with the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
and the beautiful
Lawrence
and the beautiful
Tanisha Henry.
And that was our show, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you tune in. Hold up before I go up. We got one more comment. Yes, it was. There you go. I appreciate it. Say yes. It was a dynamic show, and I'm gonna end on that. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to end on that because that was the perfect comment to put an exclamation point at the end of this sentence. All right, y'all. We see y'all next time, next Saturday, and we out here like last year, y'all. Peace.